Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this first episode of Morning Reflections. Today, I would like to talk about a topic that many of us grapple with. Guilt. Not the healthy guilt that comes from our own mistakes, but the unnecessary guilt others try to place on us for their choices and consequences. Here's a truth to start your day. You are not responsible for the consequences of someone else's actions. Sometimes, people in our lives, whether it's family, friends, or co-workers, may try to shift the burden of their mistakes onto us. They might say things like, "If only you had helped more, this wouldn't have happened," or "You could have prevented this." Sound familiar? But here's the reality. Their choices, their consequences. Yes, it's natural to want to help, to be there for others, but there's a fine line between supporting someone and carrying a weight that was never yours to bear. Why false guilt can hold you back. When you let others make you feel guilty for their mistakes, you give away your power. Guilt becomes a trap. It makes you question your worth. It keeps you stuck in situations that don't serve you. It prevents you from focusing on your own growth and happiness. And here's the kicker. No matter how much guilt you take on, it won't fix their problems. Only they can do that. So, let's set an intention for today. I release myself from guilt that doesn't belong to me. Say it with me. I release myself from guilt that doesn't belong to me. This isn't about being cold or unkind. It's about respecting yourself. You can be compassionate without being a scapegoat. You can care without sacrificing your peace. So how to approach these situations? Pause and reflect. When someone tries to guilt you, ask yourself, is this truly my responsibility? Set boundaries. If it isn't your fault, calmly but firmly say, I'm sorry this happened, but this isn't something I can take responsibility for. Focus on your growth. Let go of guilt and redirect that energy toward your goals, dreams, and well-being. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to say no. And you are allowed to recognize that someone else's path is not your burden to carry. Today, walk into your morning with clarity and strength. Let go of false guilt, hold your head high, and remind yourself that you are doing your best, and that's more than enough. Let's tackle now another feeling that many of us wrestle with. The fear of being seen as selfish when, in reality, you're simply becoming stronger and more self-aware. Here's your truth for the day. You didn't become selfish. You became harder to manipulate. Don't confuse the two. When you start saying no, when you protect your time and energy, it can feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable. You might hear people call you selfish, cold, or changed. But here's the reality. What you're doing is honoring your boundaries and your worth. Being harder to manipulate doesn't mean you're unkind. It means you've grown. You've learned to see through guilt-tripping, emotional blackmail, and unnecessary drama. You've realized that your peace is priceless, and that's a beautiful, powerful thing. Why do people resist your growth? Let's be honest. When you stop saying yes to everything, the people who benefited from your overgiving might push back. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because your growth highlights their need to change. But here's the thing. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. Here is another mantra for today. I am not selfish. I am self-aware. Say it with me. I am not selfish. I am self-aware. This mantra reminds you that protecting your boundaries is an act of love. Love for yourself and for those around you. Because when you're whole, you can give more freely and authentically. Embrace your strength. Recognize manipulation. Pay attention to when someone uses guilt, shame, or pressure to sway you. Trust your instincts. Choose your responses. Take a breath before reacting. Ask yourself, am I acting from obligation or authenticity? Celebrate your growth. Every no that protects your energy is a step toward becoming your best self. Celebrate that progress. Remember this: growth isn't selfish. It's a declaration that you value your time, your energy, and your peace. And the stronger you become, the better you'll attract people who respect and cherish those boundaries. So, go into today with strength, clarity, and confidence. Say no when it serves you. Say yes when it feels right. And never, ever confuse your self-respect with selfishness. If this message resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And to end our morning reflections of the day, let's dive into a profound statement often attributed to Winston Churchill. In war, it does not matter who is right, but who is left. While it may speak about the battlefield, its wisdom applies to so many aspects of our daily lives. Whether it's a global war, a disagreement with a loved one, or an internal battle with ourselves, conflict comes at a cost. In the heat of the moment, we often focus on being right. We want to prove our point, defend our perspective, or protect our pride. But at what expense? When the dust settles, what truly matters is what remains: our relationships, our peace of mind, and the values we stood for during the storm. Today, let's shift our perspective. Instead of asking, "Am I right?" let's ask, "What is this fight costing me?" Sometimes, the price of being right is too high. What can I preserve? Whether it's your inner peace, a friendship, or a family bond, focus on what's worth saving. Is this worth the battle? Not every fight deserves your energy. Choosing to prioritize what's left doesn't mean you're weak. It takes incredible strength to walk away from unnecessary fights, to compromise when needed, and to focus on building instead of destroying. Remember, the most powerful warriors aren't always those who fight the hardest. They're the ones who know when to step back, protect what matters, and preserve their energy for battles that truly count. Here is one last thought to start your day. I will protect what matters most. Say it with me. I will protect what matters most. This mantra reminds us that our lives aren't measured by how often we're right, but by how much love, peace, and connection we leave behind. As you go through your day, think about the conflicts you face. Whether it's a small argument or a big decision, ask yourself, what will remain when this is over? Focus on leaving behind something meaningful, a relationship intact, a sense of self-respect, or a peaceful resolution. Thank you for joining me this morning on Morning Reflections. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need this reminder. Let's move through today with clarity, strength, and purpose. Have an incredible day.